Dear students, welcome to Tungal online classes. In the last video, we discussed what is the body of animals organized with, and what are the types of animal tissues that makes the entire body of the animals. And I had started with the first type of animal tissue, that is epithelial tissue, right? And afterwards, epithelium is classified into two types. Number one, that is simple epithelium, and second one is compound epithelium. So based on what they have been classified into two types. So based on the number of cell layers, it is been classified into two types. Number one, simple epithelium, as it is very simple in structure and it is made up of single celled layer. And compound epithelium is a type of epithelium which is made up of many cell layered epithelium, right? So this way they have been classified over here. So then let us start with the simple epithelium first. Okay. Simple epithelium. Simple epithelium is a type of epithelial tissue, or the covering tissue is called as, which is made up of single celled layer. It is made up of single celled layer. Okay, so this is simple epithelium, what we call it as. And the second one is compound epithelium. Compound epithelium. As the name suggests, here the type of epithelium it is, and it is compound in nature, means it is made up of multi-layered cell layers. It is made up of many celled layer. So based on this, they have been classified into two types. One is simple epithelium, second one is compound epithelium, right? So these are the two major types. So first of all, in the first type, that is the simple epithelium, is classified into different types, right? So there are many types that we come across. So 6 types already classification I have done, and on what basis this simple epithelium is classified over here? So it is based on shape and functions of cells. Based on the shape of the cell as well as based on the functions of the cell, simple epithelium is classified into 6 types, right? What are those 6 types? Already I have mentioned the names, and the first type will start with now itself, right? So what is the first type? So here the first type of a simple epithelium is simple squamous epithelium. What is the first type? Simple squamous epithelium. So how this epithelium is, how the characteristic features are. Here in this type of epithelium, there we come across very thin flat cells over here, right? And all the cells are lying on the basement membrane. What is basement membrane? I have already cleared that one. Okay, so see here the diagram, right? Here basically the basement membrane you come across here, and on that basement membrane you will find this kind of cells, very thin flat cells, right? Very thin flat cells that you come across here. So this is basement membrane, and in that you will find a large nucleus located at the center. See here, this is nothing but simple squamous epithelium. So here the cells are very thin. It is made up of single celled layer, and the cells are thin and so flat. Cells are thin and so flat, and the cells are attached side by side. Right? So cells are very tightly so bounded over here, side by side, and so they are arranged in such a way that so the tiles of the pavement at home, you can observe how the tiles are attached that way. So these thin flat cells are attached so each other as if the so tiles of pavement, and hence it is called as pavement tissue. What it is called as pavement tissue. Cells are attached very tightly as the tiles of pavement, hence it is called as pavement tissue. What it is also known as pavement tissue. The point to be noted over here. Right? So this is called as pavement tissue. From the surface view, whenever you see this tissue, that moment the cells are looking to be as polygonal in shape. So on surface view, the cells are looking to be polygonal in shape. They are polygonal in shape. And one more thing you are observing here, the cells are thin and flat. But because of the presence of a large nucleus at the center, so it causes a bulge over here. It causes a bulge at the center, right? So this is one unique nature of this epithelial tissue. See here what happens because of the presence of a large nucleus in these thin flat cells. So there it causes a bulge at the center in the cells, right? So that is the unique feature. So due to the presence of a large oval shaped or spherical shaped nucleus at the center causes bulge at the center of cells, right? So that much thin these cells are, very thin flat cells, right? And they are bulged at the center, but they are very thin and flat, so towards the edges, right? So I shall draw the diagram over here of a single cell. So this is how the cell is. See here how the cells are. So it is a large nucleus. It makes a bulge at the center, and the edges are so thin and they are irregular in shape, right? So this kind of cells makes the internal lining of many number of the parts. Say for example, it makes the internal lining of alveoli, and you can observe here this is alveoli. So which is usually seen in the lungs, in the lungs, this is the trachea, right? Inside which air sacs that you come across. So one of the air sacs, when you enlarge that moment, you will find this kind of structure which has the lining of this epithelium. This is so the internal lining of the what? Alveoli. Alright? And even it makes the lining of the inner wall of blood vessels. Blood vessels. So in blood vessels it is said as endothelium. It makes the endothelium. Right? And it is also present in the or it makes the lining of abdominal, right, and thoracic cavity. There it makes mesothelium. It is called as mesothelium, right? So here it makes endothelium, here it makes mesothelium, and it is also present in kidney tubules, that is nephrons also. It makes the lining of nephrons which are present in kidney, right? So this is about the epithelium, that is nothing but simple squamous epithelium, right? So this is about simple squamous epithelium, right? And the next one is simple cuboidal epithelium. Simple cuboidal epithelium. As the name suggests, here the cells are cubical in shape, right? So already I had told you, simple epithelium is classified based on the shape of the cells, right? Here the cells are cubical in shape. Here the cells are cubical in shape, right? And these are almost equal. Means the cells are almost equal in height and width. They are equal in height and width. So this kind of cells which are lying on the basement membrane, and there is an oval shaped nucleus present at the center. So this kind of single celled layer is seen over here, hence it is simple cuboidal epithelium which is having cubical shaped cells, and these cells are resting on the basement membrane, right? And this kind of tissue is said to be simple cuboidal epithelium, right? Simple cuboidal epithelium. So there is a oval shaped nucleus is present at the center of cells. At the center of the cells, right? And all cells are resting on basement membrane. All cells are resting on basement membrane. It is a non-cellular fibrous structure which separates the epithelium tissue from the underlying connective tissue or some of the tissues itself, right? So this is the unique nature of this one. Such kind of simple cuboidal epithelial cells are usually seen in in the ducts of the glands, right? So they are present usually in the ducts of some of the glands, like example for that one, salivary gland and even pancreas. Pancreas is also present, and it is present in some other glands like thyroid gland is, and sometimes it is present in so the nephrons also. It is sometimes present in the nephrons, especially it is located at the initial part of the PCT, that is proximal convoluted tubule, as we have studied in the last class, right? So what is PCT, you know? So in SSLC, nephron structure you might have come across there. So there we come across PCT, BCT, Henle's loop. So all these are the structures. In Henle's loop, the internal lining is made up of thin flat cells that makes one epithelium, that is simple squamous epithelium, like that. So many structures are lined by this epithelium. So especially cuboidal epithelium, if you want to remember always, so cuboidal you connect this one to the glands itself, right? Simply it makes the linings of the ducts of the glands especially. So here simple cuboidal epithelium this is. And the next one is this second one, squamous over, and now we shall start with the simple columnar epithelium, right? Simple columnar epithelium, right? So where is this simple columnar epithelium located? So before that one we must know the shape of the cell. What is the shape of the cell? Column shaped or pillar shaped. Here, so this tissue is made up of single cell layer, and cells are column shaped or pillar shaped. How the cells are? They are column shaped or pillar shaped cells it consisting of. Right? So such kind of pillar shaped cells, how they are, let us see here. So usually this tissue is lying on the basement membrane, and the cells you can observe here, this kind of cells that we come across. Right? The cells are broader at the free surface. Already in the last class I had mentioned that they have free surface. Right? And these cells are broader towards the free surface, and they are slightly narrow towards the base. And the cells consisting of the nucleus. The nucleus is almost oval in shape. Oval-shaped nucleus is present towards the base. So the nucleus is towards the base. Right? That point we noted over here. Right? So nucleus is oval in shape and present towards the base, right? And this kind of tissue itself is called a simple columnar epithelium. Then simple columnar epithelium makes the lining of the stomach. Already I have shown you the J-shaped stomach to you, right? So this is J-shaped stomach. The internal lining of the stomach itself is made of columnar epithelium. Itself is made of columnar epithelium. Right? So this is columnar epithelium. Even so, intestine also lined by this columnar epithelium. Right? So this is simple columnar epithelium. And the next one is simple ciliated epithelium. Is simple ciliated epithelium. Right? As the name suggests, cilia are present in this type of simple epithelium. See here. In this type of epithelium, what happens usually in cuboidal epithelium or in columnar epithelium, if the cells are bearing, so these cilia on the free surface, then this type of the epithelium is called as what? Ciliated epithelium. Right? See here. In this type of epithelium. In this type of epithelium, the columnar or cuboidal epithelial cells bear a tuft of 5 vibratile. A tuft of 5 vibratile protoplasmic hair-like projections called as cilia. See here. There are two types that we come across based on the shape of the cells. There are two types are there. So that is nothing but a simple ciliated columnar epithelium and simple ciliated cuboidal epithelium. Right? There are two types of them. So simple ciliated columnar epithelium means what? Columnar epithelium I shall draw here. So this is basement membrane on which the cells are lying, and the cells are broader towards the right. So this kind of epithelium is there. So if it bears this kind of protoplasmic extensions on the column shaped cells on the free surface, this is free surface. These are nothing but the cilia, right? So this is columnar epithelium, right? So if it is so, then this kind of epithelium is called as ciliated columnar epithelium. So it is seen in example where it is seen in, usually it is seen in trachea. Where it is seen in trachea, even nasal passage, and even oviduct. So trachea is called as windpipe, right? There its internal lining is made of what? Simple ciliated columnar epithelium, and nasal passage. In a nasal passage also, so simple ciliated columnar epithelium is seen, and oviduct. What is oviduct? You may imagine here. So this is nothing but the female reproductive structure. Whenever you go through that moment, you will find this oviduct. This is vaginal part. This is uterus, and these are said to be as oviduct. What this one is called as oviduct. The inner lining of the oviduct is made up of, this is also oviduct. So this is what ovary. Alright. So this is oviduct. The inner wall of the oviduct is lined with what? So the simple ciliated columnar epithelium. Right. So this is one. And simple ciliated cuboidal epithelium. See here. This is the basement membrane on which cubical shaped cells that we come across, and these cells have oval shaped nuclei at the center. If these bear a tuft of fine vibratile protoplasmic extensions called as cilia, then this is called as simple ciliated cuboidal epithelium. Right? Simple ciliated cuboidal epithelium, and it is seen in case of, example I shall put over here. So in a nephrons, especially Bowman's capsule is there, so and PCT is there. So in PCT especially I have told you cuboidal epithelium is seen over there. So that's why, so nephrons or kidney tubules it is seen in, right? So this is simple ciliated cuboidal epithelium, simple ciliated columnar epithelium are the two types of epithelial tissues that we come across in simple ciliated epithelium, right? And the next one is very important one. What is that? Glandular epithelium, right? Glandular epithelium. Glandular epithelium that we come across. Sometimes in columnar epithelium or in cuboidal epithelium. Remember, in columnar epithelium or in cuboidal epithelium, what happens sometimes? Some of the structures, they are specialized for secretion. They are specialized for what? Secretion, right? And hence it is said to be as gland. The secretory structure called as gland, so which is seen in columnar or cuboidal epithelial tissue, right? And such kind of glands may be unicellular or multicellular, right? Let us see here glandular epithelium. It is a kind of epithelium which is in cuboidal or in columnar epithelium. In cuboidal as well as in columnar epithelium, what happens here? So the cells are specialized for secretion. Secretions like what? So those secretions may be enzymes. They may be enzymes. Sometimes they may be hormones. Sometimes it may be mucus. So hormones, mucus, or it may be enzymes. The secretions might be, right? And those specialized structures are called as what? What those specialized structures are called as? Those specialized structures are called as glands. And these glands are of two types. One is said to be as unicellular or multicellular glands. Unicellular glands, example for that one is, so goblet cells. Goblet cells are the unicellular glands seen in, so what? Cuboidal or columnar epithelium. Especially these are seen in the intestine. In intestine, so it is lined by columnar epithelium, and some of the columnar epithelial cells, they are converted themselves into glands. Glands are called as goblets shape, hence they are called as goblet epithelial tissue, right? Multicellular gland here, so the gland is made up of many number of cells. The gland is made up of many number of cells. The cell's layer itself makes some tubular structures, or sometimes it makes a sac-like structure. Say for example, multicellular glands, they have been classified once again based on the cells makes whether the tubular structure or they make the saccular structure or sac-like structure. If they make a tubular structure, then tubular glands. If they make sac-like structure, saccular glands. Like this, there are two types of glands that we come across. One is tubular gland, second one is saccular glands. Right? So like this, there are two types of glands that we come across. Imagine here, if the gland is made up of multicellular one, so this is multicellular gland. So this is made up of many number of cells. The cells may be cuboidal or columnar. The shape of the cell is not considered over here. So here, if the cells together form this kind of tubular structure, then these are called as tubular glands. If the same cells that makes this kind of sac-like structure, this kind of sac-like structure, then it is said to be a saccular gland. What it is known as saccular glands, this is tubular glands. So like this, there are different types of glands they make, and these cells specialize for secretion. They start to secrete over here inside the lumen of this tubular structure, or in a saccular structure they start to secrete. Okay, when the secretion is secreted over here, it start to move like this. Let it be. So this is tubular gland, this is saccular gland. The shape of these glands that differs, right? Simple tubular gland is said to be as compound tubular gland that we come across like that. So many number of glands that we come across over here, and they are mainly made up of multicellular. So one, right? So this kind of glands that we come across specialize for secretion, right? So example for tubular glands as well as the example for saccular glands. Let us see. These glands, especially tubular glands, are especially seen in the large intestine. Where they are seen in the large intestine, and sweat glands are there, gastric glands are nothing but, so these are the glands present inside the stomach, right? Gastric glands, right? So such kind of glands that make the tubular glands, and saccular glands are another type of glands. So they make the sac-like structure, and example for that one is acinar cells of pancreas, right? Acinar cells of pancreas is best example for that one. And the next one is cutaneous glands of the skin. Cutaneous glands of the skin of frog. The skin of frog is very thin. It is made up of this saccular gland, and so that secretes the mucus itself, right? So that is also best example for that one. Okay, so these are the best example for saccular as well as tubular glands itself, right? So after this glandular tissue, next one is pseudo stratified epithelium is the last one. Next one is very important one, that is pseudo stratified epithelium, right? As the name suggests, pseudo means false. Stratified. What do you mean by stratified? That is strata. That is nothing but layers. That is nothing but layers. Pseudo stratified. False layers. Actually, this type of epithelium comes under simple epithelium. Means what? It is made up of a single celled layer. Of course, this epithelium is made up of a single celled layer, right? So that is a pseudo stratified columnar epithelium you consider over here. So the cells are column shaped. They are arranged. So in two layers. It means actually it is made up of single cell, but the cells are of different length. Cells are of different length. One cell is tall, one cell is dark, means short. So because of this difference, it looks to be as two layered, right? Hence it is called as false stratified epithelium or pseudo stratified epithelium, right? There are no layers. It is single layered epithelium. It is very clear to you. I shall draw the diagram over here. All the cells are lying on the basement membrane. The cells are what? They are column shaped one. See here, column shaped cells these are. Okay. See here, this is the oval nucleus which is present towards the base. Okay, and the cells, see here, okay, see how it looks to be as. These are the nucleus of column shaped cells. And these are the nucleus of short cells, right? These are of different length, right? Here in columnar epithelium we will find so different length cells over here. So I shall write all those points related with this type of epithelium over here. So what is the first point? So it is a kind of simple epithelium. Simple epithelium, which is made up of single celled layer. Which is made up of single celled layer of different lengths. Cells have different length. So this is tall, this is dark. This is tall, one second, this is dark. So like this, and position of the nucleus also differ. Hence this tissue looks to be two layered. It looks to be as two layered. See here, it looks to be as two layered. Hence, this is called a pseudo stratified epithelium. It is false epithelium. False stratified epithelium. There are no strata, there are no layers. Only it looks to be as a layered one. That's why it is called as pseudo-stratified epithelium. I hope it is very clear to you, right? In pseudo-stratified epithelium, in classification only, I have cleared that there are two types of pseudo-stratified epithelium. One is pseudo-stratified columnar epithelium, and second one is pseudo stratified ciliated columnar epithelium. Right? So examples we shall write for these respective one. Where this pseudo stratified columnar epithelium is seen, it is usually seen in parotid glands, right? Where it is called as parotid. In parotid glands it is seen. What are these parotid glands? These are a kind of salivary glands. These are a kind of salivary glands. There are three varieties of salivary glands: submaxillary, right? Lingual as well as parotid glands, like this that we come across. One of the salivary glands, that is parotid glands. So pseudo-stratified columnar epithelium is seen over there, right? Even it is seen in urethra. Urethra. What is urethra? You know. So already, so might know this is kidneys are here, and these are ureters. This is urinary bladder, and opening of the urinary bladder, this opening, so itself is called as urethra. The lining of the urethra is made up of what? It is made up of pseudo-stratified columnar epithelium. And the next one is pseudo-stratified ciliated epithelium. Cilia are present in the columnar epithelium, right? So on this, if you draw the cilia, then it becomes what? Pseudo-stratified ciliated epithelium. Pseudo-stratified ciliated columnar epithelium. This can offer so epithelium that we come across in trachea and bronchi. What is the trachea? What is bronchi? You know it better, right? So in these linings that we come across pseudo-stratified ciliated columnar epithelium, right? So these are all different types of simple epitheliums, right? So based on the shape of the cells, based on the functions of the cells, so these are all different types. And the next one is compound epithelium. Let us see compound epithelium. Next one is compound epithelium. Let us see the classification of compound epithelium first. Epithelium. Right? Compound epithelium is broadly classified into two types. One is called as stratified epithelium, and the second one is called as transitional epithelium, right? So this way there are two major types. One is stratified epithelium, second one is transitional epithelium. So in stratified epithelium, different types that we come across over here, right? So there are different types of stratified epithelium that we come across. So based on the shape of the cells which makes the upper layer, already you know, so compound epithelium is a type of epithelium which is made up of multi-layered, right? Multicellular layers that we come across, right? In that, one is stratified epithelium, second one is transitional. Then both the type of epitheliums have different layers or many layers that we come across over here, right? In the stratified epithelium, the upper layer, what type of cells it consisting of, whether the cells are flat, thin, then it is called as stratified. So stratified squamous epithelium is said as. First one is stratified squamous epithelium, right? And in the same way, second one is, if the upper layer is made up of cuboidal, then it is said as stratified cuboidal epithelium, right? In the same way, so if the upper layer is made up of columnar, then stratified columnar epithelium. Like this, based on the shape of the cells which makes the upper layer, so in this tissue they are said to be as of different types: squamous, stratified squamous, stratified cuboidal, stratified columnar. So like this, there are different types of them, but all are not mentioned in NCERT. So let us discuss here, right? So next one is transitional epithelium, is a different one. So these one, whenever we go through, so example I should show over here diagrammatically. So what is the stratified epithelium, you must understand basically. So these are not so important, right? Stratified epithelium, I shall draw here. So basically the cells are lying on the basement membrane. The basement membrane, so usually the cuboidal or columnar cells that we come across at the base. And the base cuboidal or columnar cells that we come across here. And on that, the cuboidal cells that we come across, right? So like this, many cell layers that we come across here in this type of epithelium, that is called as stratified epithelium, right? Many stratas, many layers that we come across over here. So whenever you go up that moment, the cells, they ultimately become more thin as well as flat in structure, right? They become thin and flat in structure. So this is nothing but squamous epithelium, hence it is called as stratified squamous epithelium. And the basal cell layer itself is called as germinal. Germinal layer is the basal cell layer itself is germinal layer, what we call it as. Why it is called a germinal layer? Because these cells divide themselves to form many layered cells, right? So from this layer only all these cell layers are formed. Hence it is called as germinal layer itself, right? So I shall discuss this stratified squamous epithelium here because it has a unique nature. What is the unique nature of stratified squamous epithelium? Right? This squamous epithelium itself is of different types. Stratified squamous epithelium. Right? So these are of different types. One is called as keratinized squamous epithelium and non-keratinized. It is said as non-keratinized. What is the difference between these two? Keratinized as well as non-keratinized. See here, keratinized. So here in this type of squamous epithelial tissue, stratified squamous epithelial tissue, what happens here is on the upper layers, all these are deposited with a specialized hard protein itself, and that specialized hard protein itself is called as keratin. What is that protein called as? Keratin protein. And this keratin protein makes this layer very hard, right? It is not being sensitive one, as when we touch this skin we feel, right? So but here keratinized one, it doesn't feel. So that kind of so process itself is called as cornification or keratinization. What it is called as keratinization. And this kind of keratinized stratified squamous epithelium, which is seen in case of foot, that is the sole of foot, you can say. At the base of the foot, so the cells are dead one because of the deposition of that keratin protein, and they are senseless. So hence that layer itself forms very hard structure at the sole of the foot. Right? This is keratinized one. Keratin protein is usually present in hairs also, and it is present in this tissue also. Okay, non-keratinized. Here, it is a type of stratified squamous epithelium in which the keratin protein is not at all deposited. Then that layer will be very smooth enough, right? So that kind of epithelium which is seen in examples we can. So whatever here many number of examples, that is oral cavity or buccal cavity, lining of oral cavity, lining of buccal cavity, right, is best example for this one. And next one, anal canal. Anal canal is there, and esophagus. In esophagus and lower part of urethra and vaginal lining. So all these are very smooth layers. Why? Because there is no deposition of keratin protein. So this is all about what? All these. So simple as well as compound epithelium, right? So last one is transitional epithelium. So this is very important epithelium which is seen in the inner lining of the urinary bladder, right? Urinary bladder, and it is distension in this structure. What is that? See here, whenever the urine that stores over here in the urinary bladder, already I had drawn the diagram in the urinary bladder. So say for example, this is kidney, these are ureters. So this is urinary bladder, this is urethra, right? So these are the things that you know it better. What is this? This is called as urinary bladder. The lining of the urinary bladder is made of transitional epithelium, and this epithelium, whenever the urine that comes from the kidney through the ureters and it is stored inside this urinary bladder, where it is completely filled with the urine, that moment, so this epithelium is pressed by that urine, so the feeling of the urination, right, or micturition, that is nothing but removal of urine that occurs due to this specialized tissue only. So that is the important tissue which is seen in a urinary bladder. So it is very important one. So by this we finished all the epithelial tissues itself, right? So simple epithelium as well as compound epitheliums. Thank you.